Mazembe, oh 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 Mazembe.
Coming up on the TP Mazembe show, we introduce you to the team. We retrace their road back to African glory, but first we start on a sad note. Stalwart defender Leopold Banyak is set to receive treatment in South Africa after he broke his leg during an accident last week. The Cameroonian hit a wall while driving in Lubumbashi last Thursday morning. He was rushed to hospital. Thankfully, the broken leg, the full extent of his injuries. Banyak was instrumental in the team's victory in the Champions League final, where he thwarted attacks all over the park as the pride of the Congo overcame heartland of Nigeria. The setback comes at the worst time. His teammates are holed out in Zimbabwe, preparing for FIFA's World Club Championships in Abu Dhabi, set for December. To say that God played a hand in the formation of DRC super club TP Mazembe would be putting it mildly. The formation of the club goes back to 1939, and as the story goes, Benedictine monks formed a soccer club to amuse and entertain all new scholars for whom a life in the priesthood was perhaps not exactly their number one priority. Back then, the club went through a number of name changes until a slightly more long-term name settled. The club was dubbed FC Engelbert in 1944 after their first major sponsor, a tire company, by that name. That season saw the boys from the monastery finish an undefeated first place in the league. But the real glory days of the then FC Engelbert would only come in the 1960s, as Zaire, independent of colonial Belgium, was a land filled with opportunity. It also heralded a new beginning. FC Engelbert restructured, and in 1966, under the name Mazembe, the club won its very first treble. That accolade comprises the provincial Katanga Cup, the national championship, and the Congo Cup. The club's success forced the prefix tout puissant, or all-powerful Mazembe. And it came just in the nick of time because Mazembe lived up to its name, taking the African Cup of Champions for the next 2 years, ending up in the final every year until the end of the decade. Subsequent geopolitical changes resulting in all-out war in the country formerly known as Zaire kept the almighty Mazembe from achieving the heights it no doubt would have reached if it was normal sport in a normal society. But 18 years later, the club re-emerged under a brand new force, provincial governor and businessman Moise Katumbi Chapwe.
My brother was the chairman of the team. My older brother was the chairman of the team for 19 years. I was very young. The time my brother left Mazembe, Mazembe for 18 years, they didn't go back in Africa. I was in Zambia 15 years ago, and somebody told me, say, no, you want to give you back the team. I said, oh, I didn't ask for the team. He said, no, you give you back the team.
Lubumbashi is the largest city in the DRC. Its 700 square meter expanse is populated by some 1.2 million people. Lubum, as the town is affectionately known, is a manufacturing mecca, but when the work is done, you'll find the masses responding to the call of the stadium. Mazembe calls the local 35,000-seater municipal stadium home, but in its heyday, they played in the third biggest stadium in Africa, the impressive 80,000-seater Stadium of Martyrs. The DRC's top flight brings together 6 regions with 3 teams in each. Mazembe finished top in their Katanga region, which qualified them for the second group phase. This season, they beat St. Eloi Lupopo for the national championships, a feat which they've achieved 5 times. As for the source of their success, their good luck charm, none other than the president.
First year I go to Mazembe, I came and play with you in South Africa, in Tembisa, in Champions League. And since you are there with Mazembe now, every year you are going back in Africa. And it's almost every year you are getting also the title for the national league.
Mazembe has built its pedigree on a squad comprising players who've spent their entire careers with the side, combined with fresher, world-class talent. But on the field, their French-Italian coach calls out all the orders.
Bien, écoutez, j'étais en France avant. Pendant 3 années, j'ai travaillé en France.
I was in France and worked for 3 years, but 4 years ago, I was with TP Mazembe.
J'ai commencé ma carrière à 36
I started my career as a coach when I was 36 years old.
En France, où j'ai fait.
I coached between 7 to 8 clubs in France.
Vous savez ce que ça veut dire? C'est faire gravir des.
I also helped a lot of clubs get promoted, taking a team from the lower division to the higher one.
Contacté pour partir en Afrique, à la Jeunesse Club d'Abidjan.
Then I was contacted to come to Africa. I started with the Jeunesse Club of Abidjan. After 3 months, I fell in love with Africa. From one step to another, I found myself in Ethiopia. Then it was Togo, and finally with TP Mazembe.
Congo avec le TP Mazembe.
In their captain, Tresor Mputu Mabi, they have an absolute pillar who holds 2 Golden Boot awards in the African Club Championships. He's become a cult figure, reportedly turning down the likes of Arsenal for a chance to return African glory to Lubumbashi. He's also been linked with moves to clubs in South Africa, Denmark, France and Portugal. This year though, Mputu would have had no problems in being overshadowed slightly by the likes of Kabangu, Lusadisu, Ekanga and Mabele.
Trésor, c'est le joueur sur qui on compte beaucoup.
Tresor Mputu is the player on whom we rely a lot to finish.
Mais à côté de ça,
because he's a striker and also provider, we also know his weakness. He doesn't defend and he is not aggressive from time to time.
Il est agressif sur le côté offensif, mais défensif.
He is aggressive in attacking, but in defending, he is not. He is 24 years old. He must work very hard to succeed.
But it's his combination with fellow forward Kaluyituka Diyoko which has brought the most success. The two formed the attacking core of the DRC team, which beat Ghana in the first ever final of the African Nations Championships. Mazembe would provide no fewer than 9 players in the starting lineup of the national team, also known as the Leopards.
When I returned with the trophy, I was happy, very happy. Because in the DRC and in the rest of Africa, people like me.
Kaluyituka Diyoko took his national team success into the African Champions League, where he also ended as the top goal scorer, hitting the back of the net no fewer than 8 times.
I am very happy here at the club and would like to thank God. He gave us the strength to score. I am very happy this is our year. Our head of state said that this is the year of the DR Congo. We did what we needed. I am twice African champion. That shows the hard work I've put in this year. It is the result of our hard work that made us what we are today. Therefore, I feel very happy.
Ultimately, though, the devotion and financial support to club and country of their president has paid rich dividends. Katumbi set aside $5 million to prepare the side, and it worked because the almighty Mazembe are back to being the continent's best. Katumbi is now dead set on having the team lift the FIFA World Club Championships, which takes place in Abu Dhabi in December. Given the kind of year that TP Mazembe have had, who can blame Katumbi for his confidence?